Hello students, I am Sachin Prakash and I teach and mentor students in chemistry for IIT I believe that the real confidence which is required to crack this IIT exam will come only when you are confident in tackling good problems. And that clarity and understanding of concepts will only develop when you are really comfortable in handling these problems. So this video contains the paper discussion which I have conducted in my uh, classes online. Okay, and a lot of good doubts are there which I have discussed here. It will be helping you people in understanding, developing an understanding in how to approach and tackle good problems. Okay, and if you like this, if you found this paper discussion video to be useful and interesting, you can, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, which will surely, motivate me to add some more useful videos of this type. Okay, because ultimately it's this is just an effort, honest effort, small honest effort from my side to help the student, uh, help my students as well as other students also in their ITJ preparation. So let us begin with this paper discussion. Okay.
Okay, so now we are live. Okay, so today we are going to discuss WTM 17. Happy Diwali and Happy Children's Day for all of you people who have joined, late. And today we are going to discuss this WTM 17, which is based on, geometrical and optical isomerism. So this is the paper in front of you. Okay, and it is having questions from both geometrical and optical. They have not asked conformational. I think I was expecting that they might ask some question from conformational also, but they have sticked only to the syllabus of this week. So this is the whole paper. As usual, I will be starting with the numerical value type questions because those are my favorite. Okay, so let us start the paper discussion with the last 5 questions, 71 to 75. Any doubts?
So 71.
73. 73.
73.
So
71.
71 also.
71.
71 also.
Okay, yeah. Apart from 71 and 73, any other doubts?
Sir, in 75 we can't take D and L.
75.
Yes, sir.
75, they are asking aromatic isomers. So it will be always planar, no? So you can have CH3 and OH. This you can have ortho plus meta plus para. Or you can also have OCH3. Or you can have CH2OH. All of them are what you call as, optically inactive. Is it clear? A lot of background noise.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just. Okay, so this is done. Now question number 73. In 73, you see they're asking the number of stereo centers. Number of stereo centers will be 3. You have to look into all the, carbons which are either 3 degree or 2 degree attached to any hetero, functional group. So 1, 2, and 3, these 3 are the functional groups, stereo centers. And why? Now you see, they're asking number of stereoisomers. So it will be 2 power 3 because the molecule is unsymmetrical. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
can we apply formula for cyclic rings? I mean,
See, this 2 to the power n is a general formula. Are you getting a point? Whenever you have n chiral centers, then the total number of stereoisomers should be 2 to the power n. Are you getting a point?
in any case, we can apply that formula.
Yeah, this formula you can apply in any case. The other formula where the symmetrical ends are there, that you cannot apply in all the cases. That is only applicable in linear chain cases. Are you getting a point? when the
Yes,
ends
sir.
are symmetrical.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is 8 plus 3, it will be 11. Okay. Now, question number 71. Question number 71, they are asking, yeah, so I have told you that optical rotation theta is equal to alpha into C into L. I think I've given this formula. Yes or no? Okay. Now you see, theta 1, so theta is directly proportional to C into L, right? L is same, so I can say that theta is directly proportional to C, because alpha will be same for the compound. Yes or no? Alpha will be same. You are taking the same compound,
Yes,
no?
sir. Yes, sir.
So I can write theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to C2 by C1. So theta 2 is like 0. Theta 2, you need to find out theta 1 is 0. How much?
4.
0.4.
C2 is how much? 0. Now you see, you are diluting it to by equal volume of solvent. So it is becoming 0.1 by 2. Initially it was 0.1. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So from this, theta 2 will be 0.2. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So I think this question was totally formula based. I told you that not a lot of questions generally come from this topic, but you know, this is one of them. 69, 70.
So
Sir,
69.
69.
Sir, in 70,
Option
why?
2.
Yeah, 70, the answer should be 70 is a doubt?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Why
What?
not option 3, sir, in 70?
Why
6,
not
sir.
option 3 in 70? 1 minute.
Sir, option 1 also. Option 1 also, sir.
Yes, sir.
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Says which of the one of the following is optically inactive? Okay. So cis 1, 2 dimethyl cyclohexane. Yeah. Even though this molecule is chiral, it will be optically inactive because of external compensation. Right? Similarly, trans 1, 2 cyclohexane, this will be optically inactive, but this will be active. Are you getting a point? Cis 1, 3 dimethyl cyclohexane. Yeah, this will be having a plane of symmetry passing like this. So this will also be inactive. And cis and trans 1, 4 dimethyl. This though is obvious, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because the plane of symmetry will pass through the like this. So whatever group is there, it won't matter. Whether it is like trans or it is cis, the plane of symmetry will always cut the groups into half. So the answer should be 4 as well as 1 as well as 3. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
This is going for key change.
Sir, in option 1, could you say what is the reason? Same plane of symmetry or still in?
Now, option 1, I have told, no, this molecule is chiral. This molecule is chiral because there is no plane of symmetry passing through the sides. But it is optically inactive. Why? Because of, are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So D will change to L and L will change to D. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So 70 answer will be 1, 3 and 4 all. 69 the answer should be 2. Are you
Yes,
getting
sir.
2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you see what I am going to do is that I am going to rotate it like this, and you see I have already given priority. So this is 2, this is 1, this is 4 and this is 3. Now you see once you have drawn this, you can draw the Fisher projection. Okay, so 1, 2, 4, 3. So it will be like R, but 4 is horizontal, so it is S. Are you getting a point? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
69, there will be a key correction in 69 also. The answer will be option 2. Okay. 67 and 68.
So 67.
67.
190.
Yeah, in 67, they're asking stereogenic centers, and they have not mentioned configuration here. So we will be taking a maximum number of centers. Are you getting a point?
So
Yes
1
or
and
no?
2.
There are,
1 and 2.
1 and 2. See, these two will be, here, this cannot be, you have to check for all sp2 carbon atoms. So this sp2 is connected to two similar groups. So it won't be a stereo center. If this is not stereo center, then this one is also not stereo center. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, this is not stereo center, this is not stereo center. So what are the stereo centers? It is this one and this one. Are you getting a point? Here,
Yes.
when you're talking stereo center, this nitrogen will be a stereo center. Are you getting a point? Because it is connected to two different groups. From this side and this side, you are getting a different sequence of groups. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So that is why. So this will be a stereo center, this will be a stereo center, and this is a chiral center, so it is also a stereo center. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
here there are 3 stereo centers. So I think rest of the things are clear to you people. 66
Yes.
is not a doubt.
Explain.
66 is a doubt.
For option 2.
Option 2. Yeah, it can be cis, it can be trans. They have shown the Haworth projection. Okay, another can be something like this. Just 1 minute. Are you clear with this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Any other doubts in this?
No, sir.
Okay. 64 and 65,
No, sir.
62 and 63,
62, sir.
63 which one?
62, sir. 62.
2, sir.
62. An optically active base reacts with racemic modification of an acid. An optically active base reacts with. Yeah, so what is the problem in this? I think that even 1 should be the answer.
Sir, once can you explain the different cases like in another
Yes,
question?
sir.
Yeah,
also,
you see,
like,
okay, let me just, suppose you are having RCOH, and let us say that I am having base as R-OH. Base here, I am meaning is the Lewis base. Are you getting a point? Okay. Or you can take RNH2 also, it is not a problem. Okay. So what you will be getting would be RCOO minus plus R-NH3 plus. Are you getting a point? Now you see, if R is, this alkyl group is having an R configuration, and this is also having R configuration. Okay. Then you will be getting the product to be RR, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let us look into the, so you see, if you are having an optically active in a acid and an optically active base, then you will get a single compound. You won't get a pair of diastereomers. If this is R and this is R, you will be getting RR in the salt. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can take R to be any group. You know, like you can take CH3H, okay, C2H5. Here also you can take R dash to be like say CH3, okay, then you can take it to be hydrogen to be deuterium. You can take anything. Are you getting a point? So the idea is that if the alkyl group here is having R and R, then you will get a single compound. Optically inactive base will not have any configuration, yes or no? This is a case 1. Case 2, optically inactive base means this is 0. And optically active acid means this is R. So R plus 0 will give R only, no? Yes or no? So
Yes,
this means
sir.
that it will be chiral because this is having only one chiral center, yes or no? So it will give you a pair of enantiomers only. Getting a point?
Then how it will give pair of enantiomers once can you say?
Because you see, the acid is optically active, but the base does not have anything. It's the optically inactive base. Are you getting a
Then
point?
it will give only one compound, no, sir.
No, you see, you will be getting this salt. Salt is having 2 alkyl groups which may or may not be chiral. Okay, if this is chiral and this is chiral, then you'll be getting only one type of thing, which is RR. Or say it is S and this is R, you will get SR. But only one type of diastereomer. Are you getting a point? If this is not having any, what you say as chiral center, and this is having R, then the overall molecule, means salt, will be having only one chiral center. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Third is an optically active base. Okay. Optically active base reacts with racemic modification of an acid. So what is an optically active base? Let us say that the base is S and you are reacting with a racemic acid, which is R plus S. Then you will be getting 2 configurations, RR and RS and SS. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then the 4th case is that you are having a racemic modification of base. Means you are having R comma S and you are reacting it with optically inactive acid. So 0 plus R plus S will give either R plus S only, no? So you'll get again a pair of enantiomers only. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So this is question number 62. That is done. 61,
No doubts.
No doubt, sir.
60, 50, 58 to 60?
So 60.
Sir, 60.
60, yeah. So 60 is directly formula based. You see symmetrical ends and even number of n is even. So number of DL pairs will be what? 2 to the power n minus 1, which will be 2 to the power 4 minus 1, which is 8. And number of meso will be 2 to the power p minus 1, where p is equal to n by 2. So 8 plus 2, 10. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
This is a direct application of the formula. That is why I have given that formula there. Okay. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 59,
So
58, 57.
59, it should be option 2, no, sir.
I don't know. I have to check. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. We're going 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 1. So it is have to be what? R. But hydrogen is horizontal, so it is S. So it is asking the correct sequence for assigning. So NH2 is the highest priority, then COH, then CH3, then H. What is the issue in this question? I don't understand. First, we have to look at the atom which is directly attached to the chiral center. So this is carbon attached, this is nitrogen, this is carbon, this is hydrogen. The nitrogen will always be ahead. Between COH and CH3, there will be a clash. Now, carbon is attached to 3 oxygen atoms in case of COH. It is attached to 3 hydrogen atoms in case of CH3. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So is this clear, this question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 57, 58?
No doubt, sir.
No doubt. 55, 56?
No doubt, sir.
That's so nice of you people. Ajay, is this compound meso?
No.
Huh?
No, sir.
This
No, sir.
compound is 1, 2, 3, and 4 meso.
No, sir.
No, because it
No.
does not contain chiral centers.
Chirals.
Meso compounds must contain at least 2 chiral centers. Okay, they can contain more also, but at least 2 should be there. 54 should not be a doubt.
No, sir.
No,
Okay,
sir.
that's very good. 53 and 52.
No doubt, sir.
So 53 it should be option 4, no, sir.
Option 4. Which of the compounds is chiral? They're asking. So in this, so there is a plane of symmetry, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, when they are talking of chiral centers, then you have to only look at the carbon, whether carbon is connected to 4 different groups or not. But if they are saying chiral, this means you have to look into whether the object and the mirror image are superposable or not. Are you getting my point? There are 3 terms. You see, you have chiral center, and optical active. Okay. So generally chiral center just means asymmetric carbon. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Connected to 4 different groups. That's it. Now, a compound may contain chiral centers, but it may not be overall chiral, like meso, because of plane of symmetry. So chiral means whether the object and mirror image are non-superimposable or not. Okay, it does not have anything to deal with, means it has nothing to do with optical activity. Are you getting a point? If I say that an object is chiral, this means that object and mirror image are non-superimposable. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
But the
Yes.
third point, which is optically active, this is true only when your molecule is chiral and resolvable. And resolvable to D plus L enantiomers. Are you getting me? If the enantiomers are not resolvable, then the molecule may be chiral, but it will be optically what? It will be
Inactive.
optically inactive.
Inactive.
Are you getting my point? Like amines. Amines might be chiral if there are 3 different alkyl groups attached to it, but it will be optically inactive because of external compensation. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So I believe that most of the things are covered in today's paper.
Sir,
Yes.
52nd, can you write Fisher projections?
Yes, definitely. See, in Fisher projection, always remember 2 things. Whenever you are having a wedge and dash representation, okay, 2 bonds should be attached to the carbon, should be on the plane of the paper. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
If these 2 bonds are on the plane of the paper, then in Fisher projection, I will be writing it like this. The bonds which are in the plane of the paper will be written along the vertical line. Okay, and you see, this hydrogen which is dotted will be in the same side as that in the molecule. Are you getting a point? The one which is a solid dash will change its position. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Sir,
Yeah. Do you want me to
Sir.
solve this question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, if I do one exchange, I will get this molecule. So these are enantiomers. Getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
sir,
Yes.
sir, 69.
69. Yeah. Tell me. You want me to do this question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, I will just do it fresh. Now you see, first of all, we have to find out the priorities. Are you getting a point? So this is the chiral center. This will be the highest priority group. This will be the lowest priority group. Right? Now between these two, first atom is carbon in both of them, but second atom is oxygen here. Here it is carbon only. So this will be second and this will be third. Getting this?
Yes, sir.
You see, these two bonds are in horizontal, means these are in the what? Plane of the paper. Okay. So what I am going to do is that I am going to rotate it like this, so that 2 comes vertical. So then 3 will come this side. Yes or no? On the plane of the paper? Yes, no. This hydrogen is like this. And this is something like this.
Sir, you rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise. I am trying to put these two in vertically up position. Are you getting a point? So this will move this side.
Then one should be left, no, sir.
No, see, they have not drawn it correctly. Actually, OH should have been something like this. Are you getting a point?
If we consider according to that picture, I'm getting R, sir.
No, you see, the thing is that the moment they have mentioned this to be like solid dash, it has to be written like this only. There is no other way of writing it. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
There is no other way of writing it. Okay, the orientation which they have written like this. See, I know that 2 and 3 are on the plane of the paper. For some time, just forget 1 and 4. So how is it like this? It is like this. This is 2 and this is 3. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now I am rotating like this. So what will happen? 2 will be coming here, 3 will be coming here.
Yes, sir.
Now I am rotating in the plane of the paper only, right?
Yes, sir.
So the groups which are in forward will remain forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the groups which are backward will remain backward.
Yes, sir.
That is how. Are you clear? The confusion is because they have not put the bond in the correct direction. That is creating all the thing. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it should have been something like this.
Then, sir, can you recommend one also?
Huh? No,
According to the
one cannot be recommended, no, because see, we have to go as per the wedge and dash representation. Are you getting a point? The moment you have specified that OH is solid dash, means it is in the front of the paper. There is only one way of keeping it front of the paper, like this only. Are you getting a point?
yes, sir.
That is why. Okay,
sir.
yeah.
Sir, for finding stereogenic centers, you check it in the same way how you do for the cis and transform, sir. The carbons which you check for
Yes,
cis and
sir.
trans.
Once can you say steps to get stereogenic centers?
Yes, sir.
Which question?
Like in any question, how to
73.
Find stereogenic centers, sir.
Okay, stereogenic centers. No. See, generally I focus on 3-degree carbons. This is a 3-degree carbon. This is a 3-degree carbon. So these will be definitely stereo centers. Okay, unless until there is a whole symmetry in this molecule, it will be a stereogenic center. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
So once again, could
Sir,
you?
can you repeat?
Focus on the 3-degree carbons. Okay, in a complex molecule, the stereogenic centers either 3-degree carbon, 4-degree carbon, or 2-degree carbon attached to functional groups. These will be the best candidates for stereo centers. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Most of the questions will be solved using this technique. Second thing,
Sir, we have to consider all of those carbons, sir.
yeah,
Like 3-degree, 4-degree, wherever they are, we have to consider those,
yes.
right?
Apart from that, if double bond is inside a ring, then no stereo center. Because it will only have cis form, it can't have trans form. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
That's it.
In case of nitrogen and other atoms,
Nitrogen, if it is inside the ring, see, generally they will ask for carbon, chiral carbons only. But if nitrogen is inside the ring and it is having, it is attached to 4 different groups, okay, then it will be chiral. Are you getting a point? It will not undergo any inversion. Ring
Sir?
nitrogen will not undergo inversion. Yeah.
Sir, now this 3-degree carbon and 2-degree carbon or anything like that, even if there are same groups, it doesn't matter, sir, or they have
No,
to be different groups.
see, if it is same group, then obviously it will not be stereogenic. But generally in a complex molecule, no, like there are 5 rings or 6 rings, generally you won't get a total symmetry. Are you getting a point? Like if you see any of the biomolecules, the long term, like having 4, 5 or 6 membered, 4, 5, 6 membered rings, you won't see an overall symmetry in the molecule. Are you getting a point? So in that case, most of the 3-degree and 4-degree carbons will definitely be chiral. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. So with this, because of paper discussion, I am ending this paper discussion. Okay. I think most of the doubts we have discussed. And okay, so I'm ending this paper. Now we are live now. Okay, and today we are going to discuss this paper WTA 17, which is based on geometrical and optical isomerism only. Okay, so this is the paper in front of you. Okay, so the section 1 contains multi-correct answer type questions. Okay, and then after that you have section 2, which contains integer type questions. And finally, section 3, which contains 3 by 3 column match questions. Okay, and 3 by 3 columns, and you have to you have single correct answer type questions based on that. So this is the whole paper in front of you. Okay, so we'll be starting from the beginning. Okay, section 1. Okay, so question number 19 and 20. Any doubts? 20. Yeah, 20. Tell me. What is the doubt in 20? Option A. It has a plane of symmetry. No, it doesn't have any plane of symmetry. You see, if I'm drawing it like this, okay. If it was like this, then you would be having a plane of symmetry. Okay. But if you make it like this, then it will be no plane of symmetry. Are you getting a point? Okay. Yeah. So other things are okay. C2 axis of symmetry, everyone is able to see? Yes, no? Okay, that's very good. Then comes question number 21. Is there any doubt? No. Okay, so the strategy in these type of questions is put all the carbon groups along the vertical and then check for the isomerism. Okay, whether it is meso or D plus L. Now, 22. In 22, some people had doubts like, I have, in one of the doubts I told that this conformation is chiral, that I am still staying by my word, but the molecule is achiral. Why? Because in one of its conformation, it will have a plane of symmetry. Are you getting a point? Okay. See, but the thing is that conformations will be interchanging. Are you getting a point? Molecules, but if the molecule is getting a conformation in which it is having a plane of symmetry or a center of symmetry, then it will become achiral. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? But there was a question. Okay. Yeah, there was a question in which I think some question was there that on Pluto there was a gauche and eclipsed form of butane, and at Pluto it was something like that single bond rotation was not allowed. Then the conformations becomes what you say as different diastereomers. Are you getting my point? Because now the single bond rotation is not possible. Are you getting a point? So but in this case, when nothing is mentioned, this means that you have to look into, you have to simply make the Fisher projection out of it, and then you have to convert the Fisher projection to see whether there is a plane of symmetry or not. Is it clear to all of you? No, option A, if you rotate it like this. Option D. Yeah, option D, there is no plane of symmetry. It is supposed to be chiral. It is something like this. Okay, see, what you are going to do is that you have to rotate it like this. Okay, so if you rotate 180 degree, then this comes here, OH will come here, and H will come here. Are you getting a point? So you'll be getting something like this type of molecule. Okay, so there is no plane of symmetry as well as center of symmetry here. Is it clear?
Sir,
Yeah.
type of 20-second type questions, we need to rotate the molecule such that it becomes eclipse.
No, then only you can draw the Fisher projection now.
Then in one of its conformations, if it is having plane of symmetry, then we say it is chiral.
Yeah. Are you getting a point?
Sir,
Yes.
previous question, 21st. Like how to check each option, like whether it is meso or not.
Yeah, which option do you want me to do?
I mean, in A, B, C, any of them.
Okay, let us take the one in which you have maximum amount of movement. So let us take B. Okay. So in B, you are having something like this. Okay, can you see the molecule now? Okay. Is it good? Now you see, in order to write the Fisher projection properly, you have to put all the alkyl groups along the vertical line, right? So vertical line means it should be going into the backward position vertically. Yes or no? Yes, no. Okay, so what I am doing, I am moving this here. The moment I move this here around this carbon, this will be moving here. Yes or no? And this will be moving here. Okay. So you see, if I'm moving, then I'm getting OH here, CH3 here, and H here. Is it clear? Yes or no? Okay. The horizontal bonds are coming towards you. Vertical bond is going away from you. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So now you see for the second one, I want CH3 here. So I will be rotating it here. So where will OH go? OH will go this side and H will go this side. So I can write H here. I can write OH here. I can write CH3 here. Getting my point? Yes or no?
But if we rotate the molecule, then its configuration changes.
No, I'm not rotating the Fisher projection. I'm rotating the wedge and dash rotate. I'm keeping this bond to be fixed, and then I'm moving these three groups. Are you getting a point? It is something like that. Okay, just 1 minute. 1 minute. See, it's like I am moving these three groups. I'm keeping this bond to be same. I'm just moving these three groups. Are you getting a point?
So if we rotate the Fisher projection, then only configuration should.
Yeah. 1 minute. Yeah, there is a lot of background noise. Okay, just 1 minute. Oh. Is it clear? See, I am holding this bond and I am moving only these three. Are you getting a point? Okay. Like this. Okay. So suppose, like this is your CH3. Okay. This is H and this is your OH and this is H. Now I am moving, I want CH3 to be back. So I am putting it like this. What happened? That the OH which was here now have come here. The H which was earlier back has gone here. But see, this part I am holding like this. Then second part time I am moving this. Now I want CH3 this side. So what I am doing is that I am rotating this like this. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Okay. So this is something which, you can do mentally also. There's no big thing in that. Okay. Is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? Okay. So I think others you can do. This question had two rotations. Okay. See, when does the problem occurs in Fisher projection rotation? See, suppose you are having a single chiral center. Okay. And you rotate it by 90 degrees. Then you get an enantiomer. Are you getting a point? Okay. But here we are not rotating the Fisher projection. We are rotating the bond line rotation. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Yeah.
In this case, also can we keep the bond between carbon and hydrogen to be in the same place and remaining three can be rotated?
Yes, you can do it like that. But see, here I have already made the Fisher projection. Okay, if I was having something like this, okay, let me draw the bond line notation. Okay, like this is the bond line notation of this. Now here you can rotate it by any angle. There is no issue with that. Because this is the actual representation. Fisher representation is a projection. Are you getting a point? It's not the original molecule. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Okay. So after this, 22 is done. 23, 24, yeah. 23. 23, you need to draw the, what do you say, Fisher projection. Okay, so it is optically active. Okay. So I think I have told you how to draw the Fisher projection. See, this is the molecule. And here you are having, and here you are having, right? So here you are having Cl and H. Here you are having Cl and H. It's like this, yes or no? Now what we are going to do is that we draw a horizontal line and then we rotate it by 90 degrees. Okay, so that this horizontal line becomes vertical. Now this is a bond line notation. So you won't be getting an enantiomer. You will getting the same molecule. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Bond line notation is an actual representation of the molecule. Fisher projection is not an actual representation of the molecule. Are you getting a point? Okay. So if you rotate it by 90 degree, your vertical line becomes something like this. Okay. So now you will be having like this. Okay. Your CH3 is this. Okay. Other CH3 is like this. Now you see these two which are up will go towards the right, down will go towards the left. Yes or no? So these are the groups. This is Cl. This is H. Okay. This is Cl. This is H. Right? And this is the final position of the vertical line about which we are doing the rotation. Everyone is getting this? What are the next step towards drawing the Fisher projection? I draw a vertical line. Okay, I place all the parent chain along that. Now, the dash bond will remain on the same side as the original. See here hydrogen is on left, so here also the hydrogen will be on left. Okay, here hydrogen is on right, hydrogen will be on right. The solid wedge will reverse its position. So here it is right side, so here it will become left side. Here it is left side, sorry, it is here. It will become right side. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? That's very good. So this is clear. So if you can see, this compound is what? Optically inactive or optically active? Tell me. It's optically active. Okay. There is no plane of symmetry here. It is a erythro or trio. It's a trio. Okay. Trio isomer. Okay. So once it is optically active, B and C are gone. D we have to check. Now if you see, D will be correct. Are you getting a point? Okay. How it will be correct? If instead of 90 degree, you rotate it by 180 degree, you will get the same molecule. Okay. If you rotate it by 180 degree, you will get the original conformation back. So this is how. Are you getting a point?
I mean, solid wedge notation, that's when we need to rotate by 180.
Even if you rotate Fisher projection by 180 degree, you will get the same identical conformation. Are you getting a? From that also you can convert. Are you getting a point? Yes.
For rings we draw on center of symmetry. For like open chain also can we draw like center of symmetry?
Open chain center of symmetry, yes, you can do.
In this case, it is possible.
Then for that you have to see the, what you say as, I don't think you will be getting a center of symmetry in this case. Let us see how. Okay. See, let us have this thing and let us draw the Sohas projection. Are you getting a point? So this is this CH3 I am putting down. Okay, this CH3 I am putting up. Okay. Now you see, this chlorine is going this side. Okay, and this here the chlorine is going like this. Okay, here hydrogen is going this side, and here the hydrogen is going this side. Now you can see why there won't be a center of symmetry, because both chlorine are in front. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? So
Can you say after drawing Sahas from Fisher projection?
see, this is, I am keeping, this is looking like going downwards, and this is looking like going upwards. So here in Sohas I put this CH3 up and this CH3 down. Are you getting a point? Now you see this chlorine is in front of you. So I have drawn this chlorine in front of you. I'm looking like this. And this chlorine is also in front of you. But you see, since CH3 is up, this chlorine will be in a down position, but in towards the observer. Okay. So 23 is done. 24. Yes. Yes. 20 option 4. Yeah, the molecule can show geometrical. Yeah, it can show due to the ring part. It can show geometrical isomerism. Are you getting it? Due to double bond, it won't show geometrical isomerism. Is it clear? Due to the ring part. I have ring here. Okay. So this is done. 24. Any doubt in 24? I think I have discussed this part very clearly. Okay. 25. Just calculate the enantiometric axis, multiply it by the corresponding angle. So here 75% plus is there, 25% minus is there. This means 75 plus is in excess. What is the excess? 0.5 into the optical rotation of the excess isomer, which is 158. So plus 79. Is it clear? I have discussed this type of question. So moving on to question number 26. I think this we discussed in the class. Chamfer. I told you that this is what? This is a non-stereogenic chiral center. Okay, why it is non-stereogenic? Because in bridgehead, in bicyclic ring, exchange of groups won't be possible. Exchange at bridgehead carbon won't be possible. Why? Because the ring strength will increase. Is it clear? So this molecule will have non-stereogenic chiral centers. Okay, so you see there is a statement like all stereo centers are chiral and all chiral carbons are stereo centers. Okay, so not all stereo centers are chiral and not all chiral carbons are stereo centers. Is it clear? I think I have given another example of pseudo-chiral carbon. You remember? Yes or no? Okay. Yeah, you just draw the mirror image of this. It will be something like this. Yeah.
How many chiral centers in this compound?
2. This and this. These are the 2 chiral centers. What?
But stereogenic centers will be 0.
Huh?
Stereogenic centers will be 0. This compound.
Yeah. In this case, the stereogenic centers will be 0. You won't have a stereogenic center as such. Okay. But generally people say that in this case, you have what you call as a virtual stereogenic center. Okay. Which is basically representing the whole molecule. Are you getting a point? So it will be something like this. Are you getting a point? And this CS3 will be going something like this. This is the mirror image. Getting a point? Yes or no? Okay. So,
Any bicyclo compound stereogenic centers will be 0.
no. Suppose I put a CS3 here. Then this will be a chiral stereogenic center. Are you getting a point? Only the bridgehead carbons won't be stereogenic centers. Are you getting a point? Yeah.
In this CH3 if you put there, then what is the number of steroids?
2 into 2, 4. 2 due to the original molecule and 2 because I can exchange the groups here. Yes or no?
So what's that?
See, I think I discussed it in the class also. If I put a COH group here, okay, then I can put COH here, I can put it here also. 2 options. Yes or no? So these two options are apart from the, for each of the stereoisomers which we have seen here. Are you getting my point? So 2 into 2, it would be 4. Are you getting a point? For each stereo center which you are introducing in the molecule, you will get twice the number of stereoisomers. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? That's very good. So let's look into question number 27, 8 and 9.
So
29. No one is having doubts in 27? Yeah, means I'm, that is the only question for which I have to actually, write the stereoisomers in advance. So the easiest one will be 4 up, right? When all the CH3 and Cl groups are up. Then you will have 3 up and 1 down. And 3 up and 1 down, you can have either CH3, 1 CH3 down or 1 Cl down. Are you getting a point? Now you see, there is something like that, half of the molecule is like same. If you ignore the orientation, half of the molecule is like equal to the other half. Are you getting a point? So you have to only see changes in half of the molecule. So either you can put down 1 chlorine or you can put down 1 CH3. Are you getting a point? These are the only 2 changes which can take place. So 2 stereoisomers for this, and then you have 2 up and 2 down. So again you will be having changes in half of the molecule only. You can put both Cl down, or you can put 1 CH3 and 1 Cl down. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? So here also you will get 2. So total 2 plus 2 plus 2 up and 2 down. Okay. So obviously if we are only focusing on the down groups. Okay. So if I am putting 2 groups down, which will be what? I can put the 2 Cl down. Okay. Or I can put 1 Cl and 1 CH3 down. Okay. See, 2 up and 2 down is equivalent to 2 down and 2 up. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So, okay, so that is how. So total it will be 5. Okay, there's something like that. I'm just going to. Now, question number 28, 29. No one is having doubt in 28. Okay, so you just fix one of the fluorine atom as reference. You have 3 positions and 3 carbons. So 3 factorial ways. Okay. So 29. The ticked ones are the ones which will exhibit optical isomerism. Okay. The unticked ones will not exhibit. Like nitrogen, lone pair will show inversion, but arsenic lone pair will not show inversion. Why? Because the inversion barrier is high as you go down the group. Are you getting a point? I have told you that sulfur will not show, the sulfur will not show inversion. I think I have discussed this. Sulfur lone pair will not show inversion. Why? Because the inversion barrier is high. Same is the case of arsenic also. Okay.
Once can you say like what are the atoms which can show?
Only the second period. Okay.
Okay. Sir, could you explain each compound how it is optical isolation?
Means there is no stereo. Okay. There is no plane of symmetry or something like that. You see, question 7. You see, first one can be also represented as equivalently like 2 double bond C, and you have chlorine and hydrogen attached on both sides. So it will show optical isomerism. I have discussed this. A ring is equivalent to a double bond from GI purposes. Second case, this is having a chiral center, and this sulfur is also having a chiral center. Okay, and it is an unsymmetrical molecule, so it will definitely be optically active. Nitrogen lone pair will show inversion, so it will be optically inactive. Is it clear? in this case, the nitrogen lone pair can't show inversion because it is bounded by the ring. The alkyl groups are bounded by the ring. So this will be optically active. It cannot undergo inversion. Are you getting a point? I have told this thing, no, that if nitrogen, this will show inversion. Okay, because the groups can go up. Okay, but if the groups are tied, in the form of a ring, then it cannot go up, no. Are you getting a point? See, if the groups are going up, then only you are getting this form. Are you getting a point? So that won't be taking place. Yes.
The third one, the third compound, can we say that as delocalization is
Delocalization will increase the amount of inversion. Okay, it will lower down the inversion barrier. Are you getting a point?
Then it won't be chiral. Nitrogen won't be chiral if delocalization.
Yes.
So can we say it's optically inactive
Yes.
as there is no chiral?
See, the thing is that when we will discuss resonance, then just 1 minute. Yes. Okay, so apart from this, in this case, it is optically inactive because optically active because one side is E, like this is E, and this is Z. So they want these two are different groups. Getting our point? In this case, there is no plane of symmetry, so optically active. Okay. This case, there is a plane of symmetry passing like this, so it's optically inactive. No plane of symmetry, optically active. Okay, doesn't undergo inversion, optically active. Is it clear? Yes or no? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, propose a plane of symmetry. If you're thinking of this, yeah. Huh? Hydrogen will be?
One towards us and one towards backside, so that it's cutting like equal, so if we draw horizontal.
No, this is up, this is front, this is back. If both were back, it would be,
Like one would be coming out of the screen, one would be going inside of the screen. That means in the horizontal, there will be direct cutting.
you are thinking of something like this, right? Let me just go. You are talking about this? Yes. No.
Before one only, sir, before horizontal line.
So if you are drawing the horizontal one, then for the back, you won't be having a back, no. Let me just draw it here. Okay. So suppose I am having this. Okay. Then only we have a plane of symmetry now. Are you getting a point? If I make it like this, will there be a plane of symmetry? That's it. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Just before when I was saying about delocalization, you were saying something about resonance.
No, what I was saying that suppose you are having NH2. This, the moment you delocalize this lone pair, you get a delta plus charge on nitrogen. Are you getting a point? A positive charge on an electronegative atom won't be highly stable. So There's a limited amount of delocalization which is taking place. Are you getting a point?
Yes.
That's it.
So in fourth form, will not take this zero point.
There is no, there won't be any delocalization taking place in fourth. Okay.
Yes. Right. Delocalization.
Means, see, if you are talking about delocalization to like vacant d orbitals of chlorine, that is a different thing. But you see, the moment delocalization takes place, the ring has to, this molecule has to take a sp2 conformation. Are you getting a point? So the ring strain will increase because the bond angle requirement for sp2 is how much? 120 degrees. Your angle is how much? 60 degrees. So it will not prefer to go to the sp2 orientation. Yes.
The last compound, arsenic, down the group inversion increase.
Yeah, down the inversion barrier will increase. So inversion will decrease. Like I told you, that in case of sulfur lone pair, there will be there if you are having something like R1 and R2. Okay, this is resolvable because there is no inversion taking place here. The inversion barrier is too high. Getting a point?
Will there be any possibility to have inversion?
Huh?
Will there be any possibility to have inversion in arsenic or no possibility?
No possibility. At room temperature, it won't take place. If you heat it at higher temperatures, then it might take place. But we are talking about room temperature. Are you getting a point? Okay. See, a lot of,
There's one component.
you have posted a compound on the group. Yes. Tell me.
In case you said that hydrogen will be front and back of the so plane of symmetry will be possible.
One minute. In this case, you are having what you call as horizontal plane of symmetry. Okay. But then this is this is having what is called as bridgehead carbons. In this case, no, see, in this case, you are having something like you have this type of plane of symmetry. So this is like this, and this is like this. Okay, and it is passing through this whole middle of this carbon. Are you getting a point? But huh? Yeah, it is a vertical plane of symmetry. I mean, this whole thing is a plane of symmetry.
Sir, I mean the plane of symmetry perpendicular to the one which
Yeah. In this case, you won't be getting that because the orientation of hydrogens are different here. Okay. See, here both hydrogens are facing downwards only. Okay. But here you see one hydrogen is up and another is down. Okay. So that is why you won't have a plane of symmetry. Are you getting a point?
whether that is up or down.
You can see the sense from the figure itself, no? You see, here both hydrogens are going down only because this is up. Are you getting a point? Yeah.
In this case, if we draw a plane of symmetry perpendicular to the green one which we have drawn, hydrogen will be in the plane of symmetry.
Yeah, in that case, you can also see it through that plane also. It will be containing both the hydrogen. Yeah, cutting the hydrogen into half, that you can see it like that also. There will be like two plane of symmetry. In this case, you can't, if you draw a line like this, you will be getting a 5 and a 4 membered ring. Are you getting a point? So if you are having something like this, and then you are having something like this, then there will be a plane of symmetry like this. Are you getting a point? Okay. Question number 30. No doubts? Okay. 31, 32, 33. Okay. So here I have written the, okay. So in 31, see in 3 by 3, you can go for possible correct combination. And then you can, see, do the problems. So for first, what are the possible options? It is having, is it optically active? Yes, because it is containing a chiral center. So one will have P as answer. Is it optically inactive? No. Is it having plane of symmetry, center of symmetry? No. Once P is correct, other three are wrong. Then what are the options in this? Number of chiral centers. Now number of chiral centers is 1, so 1px. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Then second case, it is optically inactive. Yeah, so Q is correct. Does it have plane of symmetry or center of symmetry? The answer is no. Okay, so for 2 and Q, it is, what is the number of chiral centers? It is 2. So it is 2qy. Okay, so I think, yeah, 32 is wrong. Okay, none of the options are correct. Okay, they have given 2qry as the code for second. Means they are saying that this is a plane of symmetry, which is not correct. Are you getting a point? This is something which I have expressly told you, because I know that people make mistakes. Sometimes the teachers will also make mistake in that. Okay, so 1 minute, what has happened? Yeah, most probably it will be deleted. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Okay. Huh? Yeah. The plane of symmetry will pass through diagonal. This diagonal plane of symmetry will be possible. Okay. So 2qi, third is optically active because there is no lone pair on nitrogen and 4 different groups. So P is correct, and it will have number of chiral centers as 1. So 3px is there, and fourth is optically inactive and it is having a plane of symmetry, right? And number of chiral centers is 0. So it is QRW. Okay. So 31, the only correct combination is 1px. Okay, so 31C is correct. Okay. 32, given molecule in column 1, only correct combination 3pW, 4prW, no, it's 4qr. This is W, no? 1 minute. What is happening? Okay, so 4qrw is correct in question number 33. Okay, 32, it should be 2qy, not qr. R is not valid in question in the cis 1,2 substituted hexane. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Okay, so 32 is going for key change. Okay, now I think it will be deleted because none of the options are correct. But then, I know that this is every second year I will see this type of question. Okay, so, still lot of ambiguity is there in the market regarding whether, this cis-1,2 cyclohexane is optically inactive. But it is optically inactive because of external compensation, not because of internal compensation. Are you getting my point? If you have a planar symmetry or central symmetry, then the optical inactivity is due to internal compensation. Okay, within the molecule itself, the optical rotation gets cancelled. That is not the case here. Okay, so 33 is done. Okay, next is 34, 35, 36. Okay, now what they have done here is that they have considered a pair of, a pair to be one single stereogenic center for geometrical isomers. That is again incorrect. Are you getting a point? I'm just showing you one question because this is like there in. I took the photo from this. There was a question in MS Chauhan. So I think because people follow it as a standard textbook, I'm just posting it on the group. So you see, they have considered both the double bond carbons to be stereocenters wherever it is possible. Are you getting a point? Can you see question number 190 on the group? Okay. So what the paper setter has done here is that he is considering these two to be a single stereocenter, which is not correct. Both are individually stereocenters. Are you getting a point? Why? Because the definition of stereocenter is you get a different stereoisomer when you are interchanging the groups at that particular carbon. Are you getting a point? Okay, so it will be, both will be two, GI stereocenters will always occur in pairs. Are you getting a point? It's either you will get 2 or 0. You won't get one GI stereocenter. Is it clear? Okay. So I'm giving you the correct combination in case of 34, 35, 36. Okay. First one, number of stereogenic center will be 3. So it is R, and then it will be number of stereoisomers will be 4. So 1 RY. Okay, they have given 1 QY. Okay. Then second case, number of stereogenic centers will be 2. This will also be stereogenic center. This is also a stereogenic center. So 1Q and 2Q and no, it won't be Y. No, it will be W because GI stereocenters you will get only 2. Are you getting a point? This E and Z. Okay, then third case, how many stereocenters you are having? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it is R. And then how many stereoisomers you will get? You will be getting 4 only. Yeah. And fourth you are having 2 stereocenters, but both are. The fourth you are getting Q, which is 2. Okay. And you see, since the ends are symmetrical, so you will be getting 3 stereo. So 4Q X. Are you getting a point? So that is the only incorrect. Actually, no. In case of 36, it is asking incorrect. So even A is incorrect. Okay, 1QY incorrect. And D is 3QY. Yeah, all are incorrect. Are you getting a point? So that is because the examiner has considered a double bond to be a single stereocenter. That is not correct. Both carbon atoms, sp2 carbon atoms of double bond are stereocenters. Are you getting a point? Okay. So yeah. So with this, 34 and 35 will go for delete. Yeah. 36 will go for what you say as all are correct. Okay. So I think how many changes are there? 3, 1, 4. Only 4 changes are there, right? 4 W. Yeah, tell me. Yes, 1 minute. Yes. Huh. 21. Second one. Yeah, I have told you that in case of aldoxin, okay, the carbon definitely contains an hydrogen and nitrogen definitely contains an OH. So syn is when both are on the same side and anti is when both are on the opposite side. Are you getting a point? This I have given, separately. Okay, because you see syn and anti, these are like common names. Okay, this is not following a set of rules. Getting a point? So someone decided that for aldoxins it should be like that. Then for ketoxins, since there was no hydrogen, then they go for higher priority or lower priority. Are you getting a point? So it's like that. So with this, I believe that the paper discussion for today is over. Yeah, tell me. 31st, third one. 1px. Yeah, what is the doubt in 1px? Number of chiral center is this one only, no? Carbon connected to 4 different groups. Okay, this one, the amine. Yeah, so this is plus and Cl is minus. So since the cation part is optically active, the whole molecule is optically active. Chiral center. That I have told, no. Nitrogen we are considering, no. Any sp3 atom can be considered to be a chiral center. If it is, yes. Is it clear? Yes. Asymmetric means only chiral carbon. Carbon connected to 4 different groups. Okay. So I think, yeah. Tell me. Yeah, this one, no. Trans-O-aminocinamic acid. So cinnamic acid is basically 5C11C COH. Okay. So trans means that 5 and COH are on the opposite side. Cis means both are on the same side. Are you getting a point? And ortho amino is with respect to this, it is the first position, so it's ortho. It's the ortho position. Are you getting a point? Okay.
Chiral carbons or asymmetric carbons mean the same one.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. What is 21st? Yeah, which one?
Like option B only, like one.
Okay. You see, I'm drawing it, okay? This is H. Okay. This is okay. So there are 2 ways of doing this question. One is rotating, another I will discuss now. Okay. Okay. In this also you can draw the Fisher projection. What is the Fisher projection? It is H, OH, CH3. Okay. And OH, CH3 and H. Are you getting a point? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, in this, you can't decide this is not a proper Fisher projection. Proper Fisher projection means that you need to, what you say is, you need to change the configurations in such a way that CH3 is vertically up, right? So what we do is that we will first try to move CH3 here. How do we do that? We do one interchange. I put CH3 here and H here. Now the configuration here has been inverted, yes or no?
Yes.
So I do the second interchange. So now my hydrogen is here and OH is here. Are you getting a point? So I get back the original configuration, yes or no?
Yes.
So OH, H and CH3. This is having the same configuration as this one, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, now same thing I'm going to do here also. What I'm going to do is, okay, that I want CH3 here. So I will do one exchange like this. So what will happen is that my CH3 has come here and my OH has come here. Right? Okay, but the configuration here has gone from, has got inversion from R to S, something like that. And now I want R again. So I have to do one more exchange without touching this CH3. Getting a point?
Yes.
So what I will do is that I will exchange this and this. So what will happen that OH will come here and H will come here. So if I write H here and OH here, then the configuration here is the same as the initial configuration. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
So now you can see, yeah. At a single chiral center, I'm doing two exchanges.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's not like I did one exchange here and other exchange here. It won't be the same configuration.
Yes.
Okay, so this is it.
You would say the first method which you have said.
Huh?
Can you even say in the first method which you have said?
Yeah, I can say, but I guess you didn't understand that. So I'm telling you this method. This is relatively easier.
This one I understood, sir, but I did not understand in that way.
Okay, you see what happens in this case, that you see I want to keep this CH3 vertical, means towards the back, right? So I will move it like this. Okay, now I'm keeping this, I'm holding this one and I am moving it like this. If I move like this, what will happen? The OH will also come like this.
Yes.
And hydrogen will come here.
Yes.
So what you will be getting will be OH, H and CH3, which we are writing here.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, here I want to place CH3 here, so I move it like this. So what will happen? OH will move like this and H will move like this. So I will get CH3 here, this OH will shift here and this H will shift here. I can write the bottom configuration. Are you getting a point?
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Sir, 22nd is only, I mean, you have to convert all of them into Eclipse form and then you have to check for the.
Yes. Always draw the Fisher projection, and in a proper Fisher projection, if you can see the plane of symmetry in a proper Fisher projection, then it will be optically inactive. Okay. So with this, I think this paper discussion is done. Okay. So it's like 3:09. So I will be giving you like 5 minutes break, and then we'll start the GOC part from this week. Okay. So today we'll be discussing just easy things. Okay. Tomorrow onwards we'll be starting it on full scale. Is it clear? So I'm giving you like 5 minutes break. Let us meet at around 3:15. Is it clear? Okay. Okay. So I'm ending this paper.